When I was a child, I lived in a small town with my parents. We didn't have much money, but we always made do with what we had. My mom, a woman full of love and care, was the heart of our family. She would always find a way to make things work, to bring joy even when there wasn't much to smile about. My dad, on the other hand, was hardworking, but often had a short temper. He would work long hours, but it never seemed to be enough to pay all the bills. We had always lived simply, and I never felt like we were lacking anything, at least, not in the way that others might have noticed. But that all started to change the year my mom's health began to fail. It started with her fainting at work, then not being able to lift her arms to cook dinner. The doctors said she had a serious condition that required expensive treatment, something we could never afford. My father became visibly worried, but he didn't show it to anyone. Instead, he kept going about his day as if nothing had changed. I could tell, though, that he was under a lot of pressure. He would disappear for hours, sometimes for days, always with a tired look in his eyes when he returned. One day, my mom's condition worsened. We didn't know it then, but that was the moment everything changed. My father came home looking more distressed than usual. He had no words to offer my mom or me. All he did was sit down, his eyes fixed on the floor. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't want to ask. The next week, we received a letter in the mail addressed to my mom. I never would have opened it, but my curiosity got the better of me. I tore it open and read the contents. It was a bill for medical treatment that had accumulated to an amount beyond our means. The hospital wanted the full payment, and if we didn't pay it soon, they would stop my mom's treatment. I could feel my heart sink. I couldn't let that happen to her. That night, when my father came home, I saw the shame in his eyes. He told us that he had done something desperate. He had stolen the money from a man who had trusted him money that wasn't his. He had stolen it to pay for my mom's treatment to save her. At first, I couldn't believe it. I had never seen my dad act like that. But then I realized he had done it for love, for my mom, for the woman who had always been there for us. The situation was worse than it seemed. The money my dad had taken didn't cover everything. The man he stole from was a powerful individual, and his anger was something my father couldn't avoid. The pressure was unbearable, and soon our family became isolated. My father was consumed by guilt, and I could see it eating him alive. He didn't want to admit what he had done, but it was clear to all of us. I remember the sleepless nights, the stress, and the constant worrying about what would happen next. We couldn't go to the police because my father feared the repercussions. I had no idea how we could move forward. My mom, although struggling with her health, never stopped being the voice of reason. She tried to console my dad, even though she was in pain herself. Months passed, and we never told anyone about my father's actions. The bills piled up, and my father continued to work long hours, doing whatever he could to try to pay back what he had taken. But it was never enough. The stress of it all took a toll on our family. My dad became a shell of the man he once was. He was angry, he was tired, and he no longer seemed like the father I had known. One day, we received another letter. This one was from the man my father had stolen from. My father opened it and read aloud the words that would haunt him forever. "I know what you did. You took something from me, and I want it back." The letter was filled with threats and demands for repayment. We were all terrified. My father didn't know what to do. It was then that I realized the weight of what had happened. My father had done this out of love, but he had also betrayed his own morals. He had broken the law, and now our entire family was in danger. The next few weeks were filled with tension. We didn't know who to trust, and my father couldn't look anyone in the eye without feeling like he had failed us all. My mom's health deteriorated further. She had stopped eating, and I could see the hopelessness in her eyes. Despite everything, my dad kept trying, kept fighting, but he couldn't erase what he had done. Eventually, my father came to me and confessed everything. He told me how sorry he was and how much he regretted his actions. He knew he had made a mistake, but he didn't know how to fix it. He had acted out of desperation, and now we were all paying the price. The truth was, we were living on borrowed time. My father's act of love had put us in more danger than we had ever imagined. But somehow, we had to find a way to move forward. I couldn't let my family fall apart. Despite the mistakes, despite the wrong choices, I still loved my dad. I knew he had done what he thought was right, even if it was the wrong thing to do. In the end, my father made the decision to return the stolen money. He went to the man and confessed his actions, begging for forgiveness. The man, although angry, saw the sincerity in my father's eyes and agreed to forgive him, but only on the condition that my father would work off the debt for the rest of his life. My mom's health, however, didn't improve. Despite my father's sacrifice, the damage had been done. She was never the same after that. But our family remained united, bound together by the love that had driven my father to steal in the first place. We never forgot what happened, but we learned from it. We learned about love, about the lengths we're willing to go for the people we care about, and about the consequences of our actions. Sometimes we must make hard choices, and not all of them are right. But we keep moving forward, trying to find redemption in a world that doesn't always offer second chances.